Welcome to Design Your CEO Life. I'm your host, Shay Cannon. I have designed my CEO life to live and work my business from anywhere in the world. I started my journey in Belize, lived in Mexico for 3 years. Then I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, before coming back to my favorite little beach town of Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I'm truly living my best life 3 blocks from the Caribbean Sea. Thank you for joining me as I share conversation, stories, strategies to help you design your CEO lifestyle. This is episode 2, The Trap. It's all about, can you watch everybody else do what they want to do, or what can you define for yourself? Because what you do not define, you will not have. Okay. This will seem like a conversation that's a bit one sided, but we're getting to know each other. So I would love it if you tell me how you like the episode and more about you. On social media, I am at Shay Cannon COO everywhere. So just tag me and tell me what you think. Okay. Because I would love to hear from you. Well, let's get into it. Again, let's talk about how we are sold a bill of goods, y'all. And again, I think it's a trap. But we grow up and we are told that if we get an education and we get a good job and then we retire, like that is the life for us. I- Again, let me take my glasses off so I can see you. Because did you fall for that? Because I fell for that. In episode 1, I told you all about how I was in corporate America, and I'm not even a good employee. Let me tell you, I tend to buck against the system. I tend to challenge bad leadership, all of these things. I don't like office politics. So the things that make a job are the things that don't gel with me. They don't align with me and what I want. I've told you before, I recognized that I needed more freedom. But let's talk about how, I don't know if you know this, but Henry Ford, okay, the founder of Ford Motor Company, is the reason why we live this job lifestyle, right? He is the reason why we have this setup where we work for other people. In this, he started an industry that was the assembly line for creating cars, for making cars, right? He understood that he needed a labor force for this type of big industry. Before that, entrepreneurship was the thing, right? Entrepreneurship was more prevalent than working for people. Okay, you had your stone masonry, you had your what do you call them, your welders, and you had your let's say your store owners and all of that. It was prevalent to have your own business, right? But those businesses were not huge enough and big enough to demand a bunch of employees. Let me tell you, by the time Henry Ford came around and developed industry and changed the industry revolution, he needed mass amounts of employees. And so that started our 5-day work week, our 8-hour day. It even started while our children have to go to school for 8 hours a day, right? Craziness. In fact, in my community, we do movie club night, and I want us to watch the movie that is a documentary of Henry Ford and how he came up with all of this stuff, because we've been in a prison ever since, y'all. So when you look at being in a situation where you have a job, you have to understand that job is not conducive for you to live a life that you want to live. That job is conducive for you to live a life that funds somebody else's dream, that is the life they want to live, right? So entrepreneurship is definitely a ticket to freedom. But even if you have a job, I still want you to define for yourself what life that you want, right? So if you don't want to live the trap that is a job, or the job the way that it was built to be, you have to define what you want in contrast to that. Because if you don't define it, you won't have it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about how when you don't define things, you're a part of somebody else's flow, right? So just like when you have a job, you're helping somebody else's dream come true. When you don't define your life, you're in everybody else's flow because you've not created a flow for yourself. Okay, so your flow is all about other people. It's go work somebody else's job. It's, take care of your kids. It might even be take care of other people. And God forbid, if you're a people pleaser, put that on top of everything. And where is your own life? Okay, so the number one thing we have to do is we have to be intentional. So we have to think about it. What kind of life do we actually want? Okay, and once we decide that, we can kind of set goals. Now, if you're having problems deciding that, I will tell you that sometimes you can start with what you don't want your life to be and start building the opposite of that, right? Because if you don't want this, then you probably want the opposite, which is that, okay? So you can start there. You can also look at who are people that you know or that you observed who you see aspects of their life that you want to be a part of your life. We're not talking about their whole life. We're not talking about what you don't see. We're talking about what you do see and pulling that in to be a part of your reality. Okay. So, two ways. If you don't know how to think about and come up with how you want your life to be, you can start with how you don't want it to be and then think and list the opposite of that. You can look at the people that you have access to and that you observe and take the aspects of their life that you like. And we can put that on the list. Okay. Now we have some goals. Now we have 2020 vision about the life that we want. Okay. The next thing is going to be we're going to create a plan. What does it take to get those aspects of the life that we want? What is the design? That's why I call it life design, because when you think of a life being designed, you think of intentionality, you think of it being on purpose. So, life design, what is going to be the plan, right? So, we have the things that we want our life to look like. How do we get there? What steps do we need to take, right? With the life that we currently have, the resources that we currently have, right? How do we get there? So, let's do a plan, let's do a design. The next thing we're going to do is start incorporating that plan into our life. Because if we don't start executing the plan, we're still not going to have the life, right? So we need to see, how do we create routine actions? Because what we do routinely is what creates the life that we actually live, right? What your daily habits are, what you do daily, what you do weekly, that is your life, right? I have this thing where I'll ask people what their priorities are in life, right? And then I'll ask them whether they spend the bulk of their money and whether they spend the bulk of their time. Because if you want to know what your true priorities are, not what you think they are, but what they truly are, look at where you're spending the most of your money and where you're spending the most of your time, because those are your actual priorities. Not what you wish they were, not what you thought they were, your actual reality of your priorities. So when it comes to the life that you want to live, you have to take the plan and make it a priority. You might have to put money towards it, but you're definitely going to have to put time towards it, right? I recently came into a concept that I'm calling 888, triple eight, okay? And basically what they said was to make sure that you're living a life, you split your 24-hour day into eights, right? So 8 hours a day is how you're going to make your money. Okay. 8 hours a day is for sleep. But the other 8 hours a day is where you get to live your life in your daily habits. Did you get that? Eight, eight, and eight, right? Now, the great thing about it is it may not take you a whole 8 hours to make the money that you make. And then you might not even need 8 hours of sleep. Some people are great with 6 hours of sleep. Okay. Some people only need 7. So you can now push those extra hours over into life, right? If you don't work 8 hours every day, because let me tell you how I try not to, okay? That could be more life. So that could be a place to start with. How do you make it routine, taking the things from your plan and executing them, all right? Another thing that I do to help people to think about their life as a whole, a holistic view of life, right? because sometimes we tend to think only about the fun that we're not having and try to pull that in. But there are people commonly look at 10 areas of life. Okay, so let's discuss it. So, business or career. Okay, so business or career. What do you want when it comes to your business and your career? Okay, your finances. What do you want when it comes to your finances? Your environment or your home, right? What do you want when it comes to your environment and your home, right? Let me give you some examples. I need peace in my home. I need a sense of welcoming in my home. I need I need areas where I can be creative. I love color. Look at this painting. I love color. Um, I need in my bedroom is set up for rest, right? We have, where we knock out lights. There's no television in there, that type of thing. So what does your environment need to be like? What about your physical health? Okay. Let me tell you how I hate exercise, but at 52 years old, and yes, I know I don't look it, thank you, Jesus. But at 52, my body has to generate more energy. It doesn't just come to me like it used to. And a part of me generating energy is movement and exercise. Okay, getting in more exercise generates energy for me. So, what is your physical health like? Again, at 52, I'm on no medications. I want to keep it that way for as long as I can, right? So, your physical health is the engine that helps you to live the life that you want, because health is the true wealth, right? So if you're unhealthy, life design is going to be not as good. Okay. What about your mental health? Okay. What is your mindset? Do you tend to have a negative mindset? Do you tend to live in fear? Do you tend to be judgmental and think negatively of people? Right? Do you think negatively of yourself? What is your mental health? Um, Next, what is your spiritual health? Okay. These days, people tend to be more spiritual than religious because, there's a lot of church hurt going around. And so people don't want to associate with churches or particular religions. And when I say particular, I don't mean I'm zeroing out one and just not telling you. I mean, they don't want to be pigeonholed into a specific, is a better word, religion. Okay. I'm one of those people who I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. I've always been Christian, but I believe in the things that most religions have in common, right? And being a good person and having purpose and living my purpose and serving people, things like that. So things that are not necessarily specific to a individual religion. So I am spiritual. I do things like meditate, but you have to decide, what does your spirit tell you? What does your spirit need, right? At the base of spirit is going to be faith. What do you believe in that's greater than you? Okay, I believe in God, my Father. I don't fear Him, so I don't believe in God fearing. Because I don't feel like I should fear my Father. But whatever you define spirit as, is it healthy? Does it serve you in times when you need faith? Okay. That's what I want you to think about when it comes to spirit. And it may be religion for you, but whatever it is for you, I want it to be healthy. Okay. It doesn't have to look like mine. Mine doesn't have to look like yours. Pick what you need that fills up your cup for spirituality. Okay. Next area is going to be personal growth. Okay. Personal growth. What are you doing to be a better you? Right. So spiritual health serves you in a way that it helps you to overcome hopelessness and things like that. But personal growth is what helps you be of service to other people. Personal growth is what helps you to be a better you to you. So in the area of personal growth, what do you need? What does that need to look like? How are you designing? The next area is what I call tribe or community, right? Who is your tribe? In episode 1, I talked about support and what support can look like. And really, all I did was describe to you different areas and different types of people that are in my tribe. So, who is your community, right? Because when it comes to who you serve, you start with those closest to you. So, who is in your tribe and in your community that you serve and that serves you? Okay? We all need a tribe. We all need other people, right? So, who in your design do you need? Contribution. That's definitely you giving back. And it's giving back to not necessarily your tribe and your community, it's giving back to the world. It's giving back to people you don't know, but that may need you. So, what is your contribution? And it might be in your purpose somewhere, but that's a whole nother thing, right? But what are you giving back to the world? Okay, what is going to be your legacy when you leave here? And if you talk, and if you say it's your child or your children, then how are they going to serve the world because you had them and left them here? How is it a legacy? Okay, what is the contribution? Recreation, right? Again, this is a holistic view. How are you enjoying life and making it fulfilling and recharging yourself? Okay. Recreation. Now, I have in one of my programs, I have a time management program. And as a part of that time management program, I have a planner that I call CEO Life Design Planner. If you email me at info@shaycannon.com and just say, hey, I want that CEO Life Design Planner, right? I'll reply back to you and give you a PDF copy of that planner. What that planner does is it walks you through those 10 areas of life that we just talked about: business, finances, environment, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, personal growth, tribe, contribution, and recreation. All 10 of those areas of life, and it helps you to evaluate what it looks like now and how you want it to look like and how you're going to get there. Okay. So this conversation is just getting you started, but that planner can actually help you plan it out. So again, email me at info@shaycannon.com and just subject line CEO Life Design Planner, and I'll reply back to you, or my team member will reply back to you and send you a PDF copy of that. Okay. Because I do want to help you get these areas right. Because as you can see, if you hit those 10 areas, you're hitting a great part of the design for your life. Okay. Now let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about your bucket list. I want to get into list. Okay. LIST. Y'all know I'm from Alabama. I might sound a little country, but list, LIST. Let's talk about bucket lists. I want you to have one. Those are the big things, the things that it might take time to get to, money to get to, maybe even a different evolution of life to get to. I need you to have a bucket list, okay? And I need you to take time to knock things off that bucket list. But I want you to have a bucket list. Next, I want you to have a happiness list, okay? Whereas a bucket list might be something that takes you time to achieve, a happiness list can be achieved daily, right? What makes you laugh? What makes you happy? What makes you feel fulfilled? What are the actual activities, okay? What are the actual things in life? For example, music makes me happy. Comedy, me laughing, I am so silly. I love to laugh. Okay, so I love to watch stand-up comedy. I love comedic movies, series. I love to laugh. Okay, dancing. I like to sing. I'm no Whitney Houston, but I will give you a good shower concert. Let me tell you. So I love to sing. I love to dance, right? I like music that makes me want to move my body. Just different things that make me happy. Great food makes me happy. A great cocktail makes me happy. Traveling makes me happy, right? And it doesn't have to be far. Like I can travel within a city. New experiences make me happy. Just learning something new or doing something new makes me happy, right? So I can do the color, y'all. I've already told you, color makes me happy. So I tend to love art museums and art. How can you infuse happiness? I need you to have a list. And what that list is going to help you with is when you're feeling down, when you're feeling sad, it's hard to think about what makes you happy because all you're thinking about is what makes you unhappy. So having that list to refer to as almost like a to-do list right, to get back to happy is important. I want you to have a solo dolo list, okay? And that is a list of things that you enjoy doing by yourself. I don't want everything that you do that you're waiting on somebody else. I want you to have a list of things you don't mind doing by yourself. If you're adventurous, I would love for you to put things on that list that you're pushing yourself to do by yourself. I enjoy myself. I love myself. I think I'm hilarious. I don't always need people around me, right? I love me, I like me, and so I can be by myself a lot. I feel like I'm hilarious. I think things and I actually laugh out loud. It's audible. But I think because I'm like that, when it comes to things like could you go to dinner to a restaurant by yourself or go to the movies by yourself, I see that kind of stuff on social media like it's taboo to go places and do things by yourself. I love doing that kind of stuff. I like doing it with people, but I also like doing it by myself. I don't wait. So I want you to have a list of things you don't mind doing by yourself, so that when you want to do something and no one is available, you have a list to go to and reference to go do something you still would enjoy even though you're by yourself. Okay. I got a Bay list, right? BAE, Bay, a romantic partner list. So that even if I'm not dating, if things come up that I feel like I would enjoy doing that with someone I'm romantically involved in with, I'd have a list. It's my Bay list. Okay. All the things I would want to do with a romantic partner. And then your last list is going to be the list that is for your friends. Do a bestie list, right? I'm a girl, so I like girl time, right? But the funny thing is, my bestie, my best friend is a male. And so there are things I like to do with my male best friend. There are things I like to do with my girls, right? And so I feel like these lists will help you to incorporate the life that you want to live. Because everything you're waiting to do means you're waiting to live a life or the life that you want. So we have these lists. So when we can't think in the moment, we have something to refer back to. We're going to look at these 10 areas of life and we're going to manage to get all of them the way that we would love to have them. And we're going to use the 888. 8 hours of business or career, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of living, and start pulling those things from those lists, pulling those things from the 10 areas of life and bringing them into fruition so that you have we're designing life, people, right? And so we talk about designing life all the time, but nobody really talks a lot about how to do it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to give you the tools and the strategies. And so I'm hoping that you're taking note, that you'll implement these things, and that you will definitely get the life that you want. So this is Design Your CEO Life, and I am a CEO. I actually provide award-winning chief operating officer services to an exclusive clientele of 7 and 6-figure CEOs. I've been featured by Time Magazine, Delta Airlines, Thrive Global, and more. But in my coaching, I help solo and entrepreneurs to stop spinning their wheels and struggling to get to their first 6 figures in business. And so, if that's you, I would love to invite you to my free group. In my free group, we build community, we create collaborations, and we have conversations that are important to the transformation of your business growth. So I invite you, go to shaycannon.info/group and join us. So this is the episode, or should I say, that's all for this episode. It's been a pleasure having you to tune in. So, CEO, go design a life worth living. Bye for now.